Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now, first of all, I just want to apologise for the beginner YouTuber vibes in today's video. It has been a pretty awful week for me. Basically, my laptop is absolutely screwed, if you didn't know. And nothing wants to work for me. It doesn't want to let me log into my StreamYard account, so we're using the beginner StreamYard account and all of that to go live. And I just want to give you a warning in advance. I do apologise if my stream cuts out as well, because my laptop is doing this thing where it keeps crashing and restarting itself every 30 minutes. And obviously that happened in a watch along a couple of times. It's getting worse. My laptop, that is a year old and cost me $1,000, is basically on its last bloody legs. Can you believe that? Honestly, it's torturing me. So I do apologise for the lacking the drop in quality this week in content, using my phone to record at some points because my laptop's screwed, my phone's screwed, my camera's screwed, everything's screwed, my Wi-Fi shit. It's not been a good week on the channel, but you know what? The international break is coming at a really good time because I'm going to go get my laptop fixed on Tuesday. So hopefully stream quality will pop back up. But enough of my waffling and all of that. Let's get into exactly what I want to talk about in today's video and all of that. Are you still tired, Alice? No, I've just had a shit week. I've had a shit week. I mean, United if United ruin my weekend, I will kill them. You know what? I've had a shit week. United, all you got to do is go get that 3 points tomorrow. That's all I'm asking for. No, it's just everything. My laptop is breaking. It's fuming, and my warranty expires tomorrow. So, but yeah, smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. Let me stop waffling because I've actually got a few interesting things to talk about. It's not a virus. It's just my computer fucked up. But we've got lots of things to talk about. Can Manchester United win a trophy this season? We'll be talking about that later in the stream. But what I want to be talking about is some comments Ralf Rangnick's made. Apparently, Ralf Rangnick not being a fan of Maguire, Luke Shaw, and BISSAKA. I've been sent a lineup for tomorrow's game that I will show you guys. That could be correct, but it doesn't involve Ronaldo. And Rangnick did say Ronaldo was a doubt with a neck injury and all of that. But also some news around January transfers and some news that's come out from the training ground. And this is the most interesting news story. And I want to get out of the way because I've been waffling for 2 minutes. So Ralf Rangnick, and this has come from the Mirror. Ralf Rangnick places a heavy emphasis on video analysis and is sending Manchester United players home from training with emails showing footage of their performance from games for them to study. So Ralf Rangnick is giving these players a bit of homework, making them study their games, making them study their performances. Now the extra workload that Ralf Rangnick is setting is set to be causing dismay among some Manchester United players who feel the video analysis homework, which can take up to 2 hours, is interfering with the home life. A club source said some of the players have accepted it, but others are less impressed. So players at Manchester United are complaining that Ralf Rangnick set them an extra 2 hours of homework. Just what a joke of a club. It's 2 freaking hours, man. Oh, it can take up to 2 hours of my day. You literally earn over 100 grand a week. Shut the hell up. That's my first thought, honestly. My second thought is the players that are complaining have got to be the first team regulars. You know, Donny van der Beek is in a very fortunate position. Donny van der Beek has no homework to do. You know, Ralf Rangnick's setting them homework to study how they've been playing in a match. Donny's not getting on the pitch, so he can sit there going, you know what? I've got no homework, boys. So it's the players that are playing that must be complaining, surely. And I just think, seriously, the attitude of some of these players it's a joke, isn't it? It is a joke. Oh, I've got 2 hours of homework to do. Oh, yeah, homework's shit, but I don't complain. I just get on and do it. We did homework for free at school. Freaking teachers gave us pointless homework that was nothing to do with what was going to be in our exam. We have to do that for 2 hours for free. You get paid 100 freaking grand a week. You complain about it. I thought, my God. Well, that was sort of a story I thought I'd get out of the way. I'd be intrigued to know some of your guys' opinions on that. But it did make me laugh if you want. As well, I just thought these players, seriously, and I'm not going to name players, but I think we can all probably predict who's more likely to be the ones complaining. And the funny thing is, it can't be the regulars. You know, normally when there's leak reports coming out, you're thinking Dean Henderson, Donny, Bailly, Lingard. Which is not going to be one of them who's complaining about the extra workload because they ain't playing, so they don't have the extra workload. It's got to be someone that's playing and not that's complaining about the extra workload, which is the scary thing, because it's a player that's playing a lot for Manchester United and a couple of them complaining about the workload. And I'm thinking, if you're complaining about 2 hours a week homework, you know, that's worrying, you know, because we've got players complaining that Ronaldo's telling them to step up and Ronaldo's criticising them. That shows that they're way too big for their boots. We've got players complaining that Ralf Rangnick's making them work harder in training. We've got players complaining that they think the coaches aren't good enough to coach them. I think the ego and the attitude of some of the players at Manchester United is a joke. These coaches aren't qualified enough to coach me. How dare Ronaldo tell me to do better? I mean, that was itself a joke. Ralf Rangnick demanding me to do homework. I don't want to be at Man United. It's horrible. I mean, like, players who play for us actually think that. Like, does that not infuriate you a bit? Does that not frustrate you? But I'm thinking, you play for Man United, you get paid stupid money. Like, people are doing 13-hour shifts a day, and they get in a year what you probably make in a day. You know, which is, it's just stupid. You know, people risking their lives in the army. These lot playing football, some of them, 2 hours homework. I just think, seriously, like, seriously. I mean, it is only some of them. I'm hoping it's one or two and not the majority of the squad. And I don't think it would be the majority of the squad, because if that's the attitude you have, then how are you a professional footballer? Because, you know, being a professional footballer is not an easy job. Otherwise, everyone would do it, because I'm sure everyone wants to be a professional footballer. And, you know, you've got to work hard to be a professional footballer. But, you know, personality and attitude can get you far. Now, I always say, look, you know, McTominay, he's got a brilliant attitude, but is he good enough for Man United? And I'm not going to criticise McTominay too much, because he has been one of our better players under Ralf Rangnick. However, McTominay has the right attitude, and there's some brilliant players back in the day that just never had the right attitude. You know, what was he called? Ravel Morrison. He could have been a bit player, didn't have the right attitude. And, you know, you can be a really good player, and we've got some really good players at Manchester United, but if you don't have the right attitude, you're definitely going to struggle. Thank you very much, George, for the super chat. He said, so basically longer training, driving at night, and now homework. Disgusting. Exactly. Complaining about homework, complaining about having to drive home in the dark, and complaining about longer training when most of these players are earning over 100 grand a week. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. I guarantee you, they probably work less hours than most people. Now, I'm not saying being a footballer is an easy job. You've got the social media pressures. Of course, there's a lot of pressures around being a footballer, but I just think the fact that they're complaining so much, I think it's an absolute disgrace, if I was going to be honest with you. And all of that. And Nick Morris says, well done to Ronaldo. He knows what it takes to win. And I think the worst report out of all the leaked reports that came out was the fact that players at Manchester United were not willing to listen to Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that was a joke. And as Daniel says, Ronaldo needs to get the hairdryer on the team. He absolutely does as well. But guys, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I've just said that twice. What is going on with me this week? Look, guys, it's not been a good week. It's not been a good week. So we apologize and all of that. And Andrew said that it's a generational issue. Not all of them, but many in that age group have been babied their whole lives, especially footballers. I agree. Cristiano Ronaldo came out and he was saying, you know, younger players aren't willing to listen and learn. You know, Ronaldo talks about when he was at Manchester United, and Roy Keane would be like, Ronnie, what are you doing? When Rio would be criticising him. You know, Ronaldo said when Rio scolds Ronnie, Giggs criticised him, he almost took it as something to learn from. He was like, okay, they know better than me. They've won all this. I'm going to listen to them. And the attitude should be when Cristiano Ronaldo criticises you, it should be, oh, well, you know what, Cristiano Ronaldo's won it all, and he's won it all at Man United. I'm going to listen to him. But instead, the players, oh my God, how dare he criticise me? I mean, there's a big attitude problem at Manchester United, and it absolutely infuriates me. And Andrew's put in here that there's a lot of scientists, and they like to say football training should be longer and more intense compared to other sports, the physical demands of the game. I mean, look, football is a very physically demanding game. And you know what? Brentford in the first half travelled 4.5 kilometres further than Manchester United. And that sort of statistic kind of, that sticks out to me, because Brentford are the smallest club in the Premier League and we are the biggest club in the Premier League, as Thomas Frank said. And Brentford are travelling in a half in 45 minutes, 4.5 kilometres more than us. So every 10 minutes, the Brentford team had travelled a kilometre further than the Manchester United team. And obviously in the second half, we upped our game. But that just said how lazy we were in the first half. That just said how, you know, that proved our players weren't playing to their best at the first half. A lot of those players were just taking it calm in that first half. In the second half, we played brilliantly. And I think you can't win a Premier League if the team's not going to show up for the full match. Manchester City will play at that pace, that intensity that we did in the second half for 90 minutes. But Man United can do it for 30 minutes versus Crystal Palace under Ralf Rangnick, 30 minutes versus Burnley under Ralf Rangnick, 30 minutes versus Aston Villa under Ralf Rangnick, and then the final 40 minutes against Brentford versus Ralf Rangnick. But they can't do it for 90 minutes because a lot of these players, I think, are lazy. You know, the fact that they're complaining about driving home in the dark, the fact they're complaining about home, the fact that they're complaining that Ralf Rangnick's sessions are longer and more intense. You know, the fact that they're complaining about it when they played for Manchester United, the money they're on, I think is an absolute joke. And I think that proves there's a laziness issue at Manchester United, because how come Brentford in the first half were travelling a kilometre more than the Manchester United players every 10 minutes? Are the Brentford players better than the Man United players? No. Do you think they're much fitter than our players? Probably not. But do you think they work hard on our players? Yes. Because you look at the team we have, and we might not get top four. I mean, that is a disgrace. You know, at the beginning of the season, once we signed Ronaldo and someone turned around and said, yeah, you know what, going into February, you look like you won't get top four, we'd all be saying, what a disgrace, or what the hell has happened? And that is what's just happened right now. And I think if we don't get top four, it's an absolute disgrace. And I think, you know, maybe Ollie wasn't the right guy, maybe Rangnick's not the right guy, but I think you get to a point where you can't blame the manager. You've got to look at the players, and could some of these players be working harder? Could some of these players be playing better? And well, the answer to that is obviously yes. And I think it is a bit of a joke. I think it really is a bit of a joke. Some of the players, you know, Ronaldo's won everything, the rest have won nothing, and Ronaldo's one of the only players that's really, really working hard. And as Gaz says, we've got over 100 watching, guys, so please do smash the like. Guys, it would mean a lot if you smash the like button, because I've had an awful week. My laptop is broken, my camera is broken, my Wi-Fi is being crap. My laptop could crash the stream. We've got the beginner YouTube vibes up with the StreamYards. So I do apologise. We do look like a beginner YouTuber. But it's not like my laptop isn't loading up Google, which my StreamYard's logged into, and it won't let me log into my StreamYard account, so I can't get my overlays on or anything like that, and it's a long day. So do smash that like button as well. It would mean a lot. It's strange because Ollie's first 12 to 18 months, the fitness went out a lot, and then it dropped off tremendously. And that's a really good point. It's like, you know, when Ollie first came in and Manchester United weren't a top 4 team, you know, we did improve, and it was like as soon as we got top 4 and as soon as we started to do all right, it's like some of these players thought, well, I've done my job now, I can sit back a little bit and chill. That's how it felt. It's like, oh, I've done my job, I can sit back and relax now. And it's like, no, you haven't done your job. You've got to win the title. And this is the problem. You know, this is on the Glazers, this is on the owners, this is on Ed Woodward. The standards of Manchester United have been allowed to fall so much. I hate the fact that the standards of Man United have just been able to crumble, literally. Where a lot of our players think getting top 4 and no trophy is a good season. I think Harry Maguire was like, yeah, we got second last year. It was a brilliant season. When Bruno comes out, Bruno goes, yeah, we didn't win a trophy. We didn't win the league. It was a crap season. That's the mentality we want. We want the mentality of Bruno. We want the mentality of Ronaldo. We want the mentality of Varane. We want the mentality of De Gea, where second isn't good enough. Not winning a trophy isn't good enough. Whereas Maguire, Tom and I, we got second last year. I think it was a good season. Yeah. No, you lost the Europa League final to Villarreal. Wasn't a good season. It was probably a surprise that we got second, because we thought Liverpool and Chelsea would finish above us, but it wasn't a good season. Let's be real. You didn't win anything. You know, if that was a season under Sir Alex Ferguson where we'd been knocked out the Champions League in the group stage and finished second and not won a trophy, that would have been an awful season. But it felt like a good season because the Glazers have allowed us to drop the standards at this club. It's an absolute disgrace. And this infuriates me about Man United. Is I feel like a lot of the players think if they get top 4, they've done their job. I remember as soon as we had top 4 qualified last season, we dropped off. The last 3 or 4 games of last season were crap. As soon as we had top 4 qualified last season, we dropped off. It was like the players expected to get top 4 this season and didn't think they had to show up. I don't think a lot of these players are working hard at Manchester United, and it does wind me up a lot. It does wind me up absolutely a lot. And Lou Manu says that Alistair Donny's situation is really disturbing. I feel I don't exactly know why he's being treated that way. Honestly, it winds me up, the Donny van de Beek situation. Let him leave if you're not going to use him. It's increasingly obvious we're only keeping Donny van de Beek because of the lack of depth in midfield, and he's only going to play if McFred, Matic and Pogba all get injured. So it's very unlikely that we're going to use him. We're literally keeping him there and ruining his career. It absolutely infuriates me. Donny van de Beek was a top 20 Ballon d'Or nominee 2 years ago. Donny van de Beek was playing in the semi-final against Premier League clubs in the Champions League. Donny van de Beek, when he's been given a chance in the pivot versus Watford, almost saved Ollie's job. Versus Everton, we won 4-0. Versus Wolves last game of the season, we won 2-1 and controlled the midfield. Donny van de Beek has played some pretty well for Manchester United. He's not been given enough chances. It's an absolute disgrace how we treat him. I think the fact that Rangnick is doing it as well as Ollie, I think is an absolute joke. We're forcing him to stay. We're not letting him leave when he wants to leave. We're not playing him. We're ruining his career when he wants to get back on that Dutch side. And I'm absolutely infuriated with the way Manchester United treat Donny, because he's not even given him a chance. We've not even given Donny a chance. I feel like we haven't. And the only positive about being Donny van de Beek right now is he knows he doesn't have to do the homework that all the other players have to do, because he hasn't been playing, so he's got nothing to freaking analyse. But it does infuriate the Donny van de Beek treatment. And I just think, when our midfield has been so consistently shit, how does he not play? Like, I understood why we barely played Tellez last season, because Luke Shaw was fantastic. All right, Scott and Fred have a few good games here and there, but Scott McTominay and Fred are not consistent. We all know that. Why can't Donny be given a go? Matic is finished. Pogba's injured. How has Donny not started a single game in the Premier League? Dan James has still played more minutes for Manchester United this season than Donny van de Beek. Dan James is shit. He's shit. And you know, Dan James was competing with Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo, Martial, Lingard, like Greenwood for a spot. Donny is competing with Scott and Fred for a spot, and Donny can't get in, but Daniel James can. I think it's an absolute joke. I think it's it winds me up. And then Andrew said, winds me up, City running away with the league and now looking in the transfer market as our top 4 rivals. This is what I was going to talk about. So Man United were linked to Julian Alvarez, and I do want to get into the transfer news because a couple of people have asked me about transfer news. Man United were looking at Julian Alvarez. He's 21 years of age. He has over 20 goal contributions, 15 starts in the Argentinian league. He is River Plate's main man, leading them in the title charge. Now, Julian Alvarez is a very technical, highly gifted two-footed footballer that is fast and is a great finisher. Ralf Rangnick has scouted him to be one of the new up-and-coming players. Absolutely fantastic player. I've watched him. I've not watched him live, obviously, but watched highlights of him. And Manchester City are making a bid for him when Ralf Rangnick wants him. He's a player Ralf Rangnick wants. Manchester City are going to get him. Ralf Rangnick wants HAIDARA. United go, we won't spend the money. Like, Manchester City, who are running away with the league, are going to buy someone in January. Tottenham, who've got a better midfield than us and are above us with games in hand, are looking at Kessie in January. And Arsenal are looking to sign a CDM in January when they're above us and playing better and have a better midfield than us already. But Manchester United are doing absolutely nothing in January when they could go and spend £6 million and get Dennis Zakaria. It is an absolute joke. It's an absolute disgrace how badly this club is run. There's no questioning it. It is awful. It is awful. I don't understand it. Going back to Donny, we've all said that Ralf Rangnick is probably being forced not to play Donny, and that was what I was talking about a couple of videos ago. You know, it feels like there's no explanation for Donny getting so little minutes but being forced to stay. It generally feels like if Donny van de Beek plays a certain amount of minutes, we have to give Ajax money, and that someone higher up is telling the managers not to play him. Because I don't understand how 3 different managers could not give Donny a chance when the midfield has been the problem at Manchester United. That baffles me itself as well. And, you know, do you guys think there's anything more to Donny van de Beek not playing than we potentially think and all of that? And any CDM news, and look, back to the CDM point. Honestly, I'd love Manchester United to sign a CDM. I'd absolutely love Manchester United to sign a CDM. But will it happen, guys? Honestly, probably not. Probably not. We should. And if we do at the end of the window, I wouldn't be shocked because we should. But the fact that the board and the owners are not making a big effort to sign a CDM in January when we might not get top 4, and I think if we don't sign a CDM, that is top 4 gone. I think we'll come back to this at the end of the season and go, imagine if we signed a CDM in January. Imagine if we signed a CDM in the summer. But the Glazers were too focused on not signing anyone. Then they saw a big PR move to bring Ronaldo in, and they did that. You know, I'm not saying Ronaldo's the reason we're bad. Ronaldo hasn't been a bad signing for Man United, but we didn't need him. Let's be real. I mean, we have needed him this season to get us out of jail in the Champions League. But we needed a CDM, not Ronaldo. And the Glazers neglected a CDM, and they only brought Ronaldo in because they knew they'd make that money back. They knew it was a PR stunt and all of that. And I think that summer transfer window explains the Glazers. They pleased us. They tried to win us back. They brought Ronaldo in, but they still neglected the same issue. And they're going into January thinking, why should we buy CDM when we brought them Ronaldo? Why you should buy us a CDM, Glazers, why you should spend some freaking money is because Manchester City are running away with the league. We might not get top 4 and we need a CDM so badly. And Ralf Rangnick is begging you for a CDM and you don't want to give him one. Why you should get us a CDM, Glazers, is because if you actually watched a single Man United game this season, you'd be like, my God, that team needs a CDM. This midfield is probably the worst in the Premier League. I mean, where's the logic? Like, why haven't we signed a CDM? And I'm thinking maybe Sakaria isn't the man. Maybe Sakaria is not going to be the guy that... Sakaria is no Declan Rice. He's no Tchouameni. But he's available for 6 million, and he's a temporary fix till the summer when we can get a Declan Rice and we can get a Tchouameni in. But we need someone to get us to the summer at least. You know, we don't have any specialist CDM, apart from Matic, that is finished. Kamara, he's going to be available proper cheap. What, like, Man City were looking at him. He's a good player. Kessie walks into the starting 11, but Spurs are looking at him. You know, Arsenal are looking at Sakaria as well. Can't we get our act together and sign a CDM? 30 million, HAIDARA. Ralf Rangnick loves him. He wants him. Can we just get him? And you know what the worst part is? The worst part is Man United said, all right, well, if we sell players, we'll sign some in January. That we're not letting players go. We're not letting Donny leave. We could get 20 million for Donny and replace him with a CDM because we're not going to play Donny. And as much as I want Donny to play, there's no point keeping him here because it's ruining his career. We could sell Donny and we could spend that money on CDM. Newcastle have offered us money for Lingard and we keep turning it down. Like, why? Sell Lingard. We could ship off maybe Phil Jones. We could ship off bloody Maguire at this rate. I tell you that. We've got so many players we could sell because we've got so many players that we don't use. So even your excuse about, oh, we can't buy CDMS, we sell a player. Well, can we just go freaking sell a player? Seriously. Maybe it's our fault we can't sell players because Ed Woodward is giving players stupid wages like £250,000 a week to Martial. And no wonder Bruno doesn't want to sign a new contract to Manchester United when we're offering him less than Phil Jones and Harry Maguire. What a joke. Bruno's the most important player in this freaking team. Absolute joke of a club. Absolute joke how we run. I always think that. And I want to say one thing about Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez is having a bad season, remember, guys. This is Bruno's worst season, remember, guys. But did you know this? Bruno Fernandez has 18 goal contributions already this season and not scored a single penalty. 18 goal contributions, not scored a single penalty, and Bruno's having a crap season, according to the media. That is how high Bruno's raised the bar at Manchester United. Yes, Bruno was poor in the first couple of games under Ralf Rangnick because Bruno was playing on the wing. It's not a winger. Funny what happens when we switch to a 4-3-3 and we play a midfielder in midfield and we start playing well again. We put Bruno back in midfield. He's got 4 goal contributions his last 2 games. Ralf Rangnick's continuing the 4-3-3. I tell you what, we might be shit, but Bruno Fernandez is used to carrying us when we're shit because he carried us to top 4 that season when he came in. So Bruno, voice is gone. One set of water. 4-3-3 and Bruno back, and maybe he'll carry us to top 4. But it's gonna be a very, very difficult job to get top 4 if we do not go out there and sign a CDM. It will make it very, very hard for ourselves if we do not go out there and sign a CDM. Even Phil Jones has played more minutes than Donny. Phil Jones has more minutes in the Premier League this season than Donny van de Beek, and that is an actual fact. You know, Phil Jones and Daniel James have started more games for Manchester United this season than Donny van de Beek. Donny's better than them both. And the competition for Donny's position surely is easier than, you know, Dan James had to compete with all our attackers and got a start in the Premier League. You know, Donny's competing with Freddie can't start. An absolute joke. Guys, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football if you're new as well. I am on the road to 30,000 subscribers. It's been an awful week, so please do subscribe to me. Guys, I will be live tomorrow around 2:45 for the Manchester United versus West Ham watch along. I know they're not showing the game in England, Man United versus West Ham, but I might reveal a little sneaky trick so some of you guys can watch that game for free. In my watch along tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned for my Manchester United versus West Ham watch along tomorrow. Subscribe with post notifications on. Rebuild says, is Ralf Rangnick being forced to freeze Donny van de Beek? It's extremely wrong that the club is dead. I was saying this in my video or stream the other day. I think it's absolutely disgusting the way that loads of players have left Man United. I think everyone that's not English or not British, that leaves Manchester United almost leaves on a sour note. I feel like, you know, whenever like Sanchez left, Mkhitaryan left, Di Maria left, Lukaku left. Now, they all should have left, but they all left on a really sour note. And we have this problem where I think we treat foreign players very, very badly at Manchester United. I think we really do treat foreign players really, really badly at Manchester United. And it really frustrates me, guys, because, you know, foreign players never leave on a nice note. And we just have a super chat here that I do want to get through. Is Ralf really in charge? And, guys, this is the question. I want your thoughts. I want your thoughts. Do you think there's someone higher up dictating Ralf what to do? Because is it weird that Harry Maguire is club captain, Brexit FC, all of this? Is it weird that Donny can't play? there is the rumour going around that if we play Donny for a certain amount of minutes, we have to pay Ajax a certain amount of money, but that's all speculation. Do you think there could be something higher up going on, which could be to do with Donny not playing? Because it just feels weird how he wouldn't even be given a chance when I don't think McFred is the solution. I mean, Simon says that Alice, the board, think McFred are good enough, and that probably is the case. The board, this is what the board are thinking about. The board are thinking about money. I mean, let's be honest. What the Man United board are thinking about right now is, can we save money and wait till summer to sign a CDM? Or are McFred not good enough? The board are going, are McFred good enough to get to top 4? And the board are probably like, well, McFred aren't good enough to get top 4, but the rest of the team is. And then the board are thinking, okay, we'll just get Bruno Fernandez to carry us to top 4. Boom. That's what the board's thinking is. Whereas they should be thinking, oh my God, we've got a good team here. We're still in the Champions League. It would be absolutely amazing we could win the Champions League. Why don't we get Ralf Rangnick the CDM he wants and see what he can do in the Champions League? Because Chelsea were in this exact same position last year. They'd sat their manager that was a club legend. They brought in a German coach. They were still in the Champions League. They didn't sign anyone. They didn't sign anyone in January, but they pushed on. But Chelsea had they had midfielders, and Kante and Kovacic and Jorginho were so crucial in Chelsea's Champions League win. And if I'm the board, I'm thinking, you know what, could we do a Chelsea? Because the Champions League knockouts is all about form in the second half of the season. We'll get top, win the Champions League, win a trophy. That's a PR stunt, maybe. I don't understand them. I don't understand this thing at all. Why doesn't your owners come to the UK and sort things out, says Diego? Facts, but they know they'll get freaking booed. Come on, guys. If you saw the Glazers walking down the streets of Manchester, would you be nice to them? I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't abuse them. I'm not that kind of person, but there's a lot of people out there, like, if you saw the Glazers walking down your road, what would you say to them? I'd go up to them and say, can you sign a CDM, please? But I tell you what, there'll be a lot of fans wanting to fucking scruff up with them. Scruff up, the Glazers know they can't come to England because everyone freaking hates them. Even the non-Man United fans know they're pieces of shite. That's why. It'd be funny though. It'd be absolutely funny though. Is it Fletcher with the Donny agenda? I do not like. Okay, I like Darren Fletcher, but I do not like how he's got this role of importance off just being a Man United player. Darren Fletcher's an ex-Man United player, so he's been given a job where he makes decisions quite high up, where he's not qualified for properly. And I think, Darren Fletcher was appointed as technical director. Why is he now one making subs for Ralf Rangnick on the pitch? I get he probably knows the players and he's the only one left that's really worked under Rolly full time and been there in training. But that's not Darren Fletcher's role. That's not what we brought Darren Fletcher in to do. And that's not what Darren Fletcher's qualified to do. So why is Darren Fletcher the one making the substitution choices? Why are we letting that happen? And that, again, goes back to the owners. The owners have appointed some absolute crap people in the coaching staff. The owners have let the standards of this club drop. The owners are neglecting to sign a CDM. Every single problem at Manchester United goes back to the owners. And the most embarrassing thing is we're approaching 9 seasons in a row when Manchester City have finished above us. Little City, yeah, they finished above us for 9 seasons in a row. The Glazers have let that happen. If tell you what, if it weren't for the Glazers and if Sir Alex Ferguson never retired, I tell you what, City maybe had 1 Premier League max. Liverpool wouldn't even won the Premier League because we wouldn't have let that happen. But the Glazers, they've let that happen. We were a side that was so dominant growing up, and it's gone. As soon as David Gill left, as soon as Alex left, it went boom. And the Glazers thought, well, you know what? We only care about the top 4 revenue. We're going to be the new Arsenal, a club that just thinks, oh, top 4 is an achievement. Top 4 is never an achievement at Manchester United. It should be necessary. And what I love about that Ronaldo interview is he goes, 4th is rubbish. Ronaldo said he'd be angry with 4th. He said, you've got to win. 2nd or 3rd, it's okay. That happens. 4th, no. A lot of, 4th is what, the benchmark at United for right now. But in Ronaldo's day, 4th, that's awful. Like, they'd be kicking themselves. If we get 4th this season, all the players will be celebrating. Yeah, we're in the Champions League. Ronaldo will be like, freaking 4th. That's fucking shit. Because the standards are dropped at this club. And I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate how the standards are dropped at this club. And all that. If I saw Avram, I'd shave off his ponytail when Manscaped says Gaz and all of that. And what rank do you think Man United will end up in the Premier League? I feel like we could get 4th. I feel like Manchester United could get 4th. But with the way it's going, I think 5th is a safe prediction. I generally think we're going to miss out on top 4. My question to you guys is, and I want you to put this in the chat, do you think Manchester United will win a trophy this season? I'm really interested to know. You know, and Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the only players in the Man United dressing room that has the passion and desire to play for the badge. Cristiano Ronaldo is the player everyone should be looking to and learning from. Cristiano Ronaldo should be Manchester United captain, not Harry Maguire. And if you do agree with me, smash a like on the video that Ronaldo should be captain and not Harry Maguire. I think that should be a bog standard fact. But, you know, Harry Maguire is like, well, we got fourth good season. Cristiano Ronaldo, oh, we got fourth shit season. That is the mentality we want, not letting these standards drop. And Van der Beek's popped in the chat because, you know, he's saying we need a DM, and you're right. Guys, I do want to get into the lineup for the West Ham game tomorrow. I've got some team news. I've got some players that I've told won't be playing, some players that I've been told will be playing. Well, I say told, not specifically to me. So I want to get the team up on my screen here. But do let me know who you play tomorrow and all of that. But can you see that? Or shall I go with that? Let's go with that. Yeah, again, apologies about the background and the basically beginner YouTuber vibe in today's video. My whole software's crashed. But into the lineup versus West Ham. How exactly are Manchester United going to line up tomorrow versus West Ham? David De Gea, Tellers and Dalot are confirmed starting, and so is Bruno Fernandez. We know 100% Bruno, Tellers, Dalot and De Gea will start tomorrow unless some crazy incident happens. Maguire is very, very likely to come into the team, but I do have a story about maybe Maguire being sold in the summer that I do want to talk about, actually. So do stay tuned for that, and Varane will start. Now, do you know what's funny? And I never thought I'd be saying this, but majority of Man United fans, because Bailly's not available and Lindelof's not available tomorrow, the majority of Man United fans would probably choose Jones and Varane and not Maguire and Varane. Like, tell me right now in the chat, would you be starting Jones and Varane tomorrow, or would you be starting Maguire and Varane tomorrow? Because the majority of people I know would be starting Jones and Varane tomorrow and not Maguire. But yes, Maguire will play tomorrow. I hate to break that to you guys. Maguire will play tomorrow, but Ralf Rangnick does not rate Harry Maguire. And I think Ralf Rangnick's preferred centre-back partnership is Lindelof and Varane. And I think when Lindelof's back and after the winter break, it will be a centre-back partnership of Lindelof and Varane. Because apparently Ralf Rangnick does not rate BISSAKA and Maguire and Luke Shaw, and he doesn't think they're good enough to play for Manchester United. Now, McTominay is a slight doubt for tomorrow's game, but I believe McTominay will play because McTominay always plays, let's be honest. And although I think Fred had a good game, I do think Rangnick does prefer Matic because he allows McTominay to play as a box-to-box, and we are playing a 4-3-3. So I assume that this will be the midfield. Now, this is the interesting thing. There is someone who said that Greenwood is likely to start as a striker tomorrow. That is potentially the case, that Greenwood could start as a striker tomorrow because Edison, Cavani and Ronaldo are doubts. Ronaldo had a problem with his leg and all of that. However, so not his leg, his neck. However, I just see Cristiano Ronaldo starting. So we could see a front three, something like this, which I think is exciting. I know it doesn't stick out like woo, but you know they were the 3 goal scorers. And because Sancho, I think, is barely been in training, so I don't think Sancho is going to start. But I think because he's Ronaldo, I think he will just come back in. Yeah, Ronaldo and McTominay are doubts, so I just think they will come back in. And this is the lineup I honestly expect to see tomorrow. I know for sure that Bruno, De Gea, Tellers, Dalot, and Varane will start. I'm assuming, for common sense, that Maguire starts over Jones, but I'd probably start Jones. I know that, but Ronaldo and McTominay are the 2 that are doubts in that lineup. But I don't think Jadon Sancho is going to come back in, and that is my predicted lineup for tomorrow's game versus West Ham. Will it be Fred or Matic and Fred is a question. I think it will be Matic and Fred. Luke Shaw is injured. Dalot and Tellers are confirmed. Like, it's been confirmed that Dalot and Tellers will start tomorrow, guys. And obviously, De Gea and Bruno, I've been told, will start tomorrow, but I don't really need to be told that. That's just common sense. So that is my predicted lineup for tomorrow's game. Let me know who you'd start tomorrow. I would love to see a front three of Martial, Sancho, and Ronaldo, though. I would love to see that. I like this. I like this lineup. I would love Matic and Donny and Bruno. McTominay's been good. I just like the Matic, Donny, Bruno link up when they played together. But I wouldn't be too bothered with this lineup because, you know, as much as I go, I'd like Donny to play, I know that's not going to happen. So I don't let myself get wound up by Man United lineups anymore because I just know what to expect. Daniel said that Lindelof should start. No, I agree with Daniel. Lindelof should start. However, Lindelof, he's had a really, really rough year, actually, Victor Lindelof. I feel a bit sorry for Victor Lindelof. his house has been broken into. He had that heart problem. I think he's had some other problems, and so he's not available for tomorrow's game. But I haven't been told, but I have read that Ralf Rangnick's preferred centre-back duo is Varane and Lindelof. Now, captain 80 million Harry Maguire isn't Ralf Rangnick's first choice centre-back, which I think is good. Like, you know, and that might give Maguire the kick up the arse he needs. Because I think one of the reasons for Maguire's dropping form is because Maguire's too safe. Maguire knows under Ollie he can be absolutely shit, he can be half injured, and Eric Bailly can be fully fit. And Ollie would still start Maguire over a fully fit Eric Bailly. Ollie started an injured Harry Maguire that had been shite all season over a fully fit Eric Bailly versus Leicester. We shipped 4 goals, 2 of which were directly Maguire's fault. I mean, Harry Maguire came on versus Brentford and we conceded a goal because at the corner, Maguire marked our own player. And, you know, I think it's good that Ralf Rangnick actually prefers Lindelof and Varane to Maguire. Because now Maguire's, you know, not first choice centre-back anymore. This might give him the kick up his arse. And you never know, Maguire might have a good game tomorrow. It might give him the kick up the arse that he needs. Because I think him and Rashford and BISSAKA and McTominay and Luke Shaw had it so safe under Ollie. And I think right now they're like, oh my God, like, I'm not playing that much. And it's going to give them that kick up the arse that they need. And I thought Rashford was really good when he came on the other day. Obviously got his goal. And, you know, Rashford is a confidence player. I think Maguire just needs to get back into form. Because when Maguire's good, he's all right. But when he's shit. Like, Maguire's one of those players. When he's in form, he's a good player. I wouldn't say he's worth 80 million, but he's a decent player. But when Maguire is not in form, my God, he is one of the worst centre-backs in the league. And right now, this season, he's been one of the worst centre-backs in the league. Bottom of the league, Burnley have conceded less goals to Man United. I mean, that says it all, really, as well. But, yeah. Thank you very much for the super stick-up, by the way, as well. And ELANGA is a breath of fresh air. Yeah, I do like Anthony ELANGA. I don't think he's the finished product. I always felt like he might need a loan, but you never know. He could be one of those players that kind of hits us by surprise. You know, he scored 2 decent goals. I think he's and what I love about Anthony ELANGA, and I've said this hundreds of times, is I like the fact that with Anthony ELANGA, he was a youth player that was never going to get any minutes under Ollie. And Ralf Rangnick came in, and within one training session, Ralf Rangnick went, I like this guy, I'm going to give him a chance. Because under Ollie, he never gave the youth a chance. Other than Greenwood, Ollie never gave the youth a chance. I think, you know, Hannibal Mejbri, Charlie Savage, Sadanic Ball, Shola Shuratiri, Amad Diallo, all these young players looking to get in the first team, they've seen that if you have 1 or 2 really impressive training sessions, Ralf Rangnick might put you on the bench. And that's exactly what he's done with ELANGA. ELANGA's impressed in training so much that he's starting, he's been put on the bench. And I think that sends such a big message to the youth players coming through, because I think under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it was very much like, oh, Maguire will play, McTominay will play, Rashford will play. Ralf Rangnick is not afraid to drop Maguire. Ralf Rangnick's not afraid to drop Rashford. And although we still got a little bit of favouritism in the squad, it's definitely toned down from the Ollie favouritism. We're definitely less Brexit these days. And I think that sends such a good message to the youngsters. Because I tell you what, I really want to see Hannibal Mejbri given a go. And maybe towards the end of the season, we'll see him. Maybe in the next FA Cup game versus Middlesbrough, we'll see him. He has been playing regular first-team football for Tunisia. I'd love to see Hannibal Mejbri given a go. I'd love to see James Garner given a go next season as well. And, you know, I think, you know, we've got to get a manager that's willing to do that. You know, what I like about Jurgen Klopp is, you know, he's not afraid to play Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones in a Premier League game. You know, Manchester United think that Donny van de Beek, that's played in the Champions League semi-final, isn't good enough to start in the Premier League. Whereas Klopp was like, you know what, Harvey Elliott, he was all right in the Championship. Let me start him in a Premier League game for Liverpool. You know, I want a manager that's like, you know, I'm going to start this player. You know, the main guys aren't performing. I'm going to start this player. That's the kind of manager and attitude I want at Manchester United as well. Ollie said Maguire is a leader. Ollie's also said a lot of crap, hasn't he? I do like Ollie, but I mean, I remember this post-match interview that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did, and it always stuck out with me. When we played Manchester City in the Carabao Cup and we lost in the semi-final, Ollie said, Manchester City putting a strong lineup up against Man United in the cup game shows how far we've come. And that comment absolutely infuriated me. I was like, how can you say that? Like, Man City are tiny, we're massive. And Ollie was like, yeah, the fact that Man City put their strongest lineup up in a cup game shows how good we are. It was the most embarrassing thing that Ollie ever said. And as much as I like Ollie, because he didn't have that elite mentality, because Ollie was saying comments like that, I think that's why a lot of the players at this club maybe don't have elite mentality and don't have a work rate, because I think it was so easy under Ollie for a lot of these players, especially the ones that would start every week. They knew they were going to start. They knew they have to try. But Ollie's training sessions were so relaxed. Ollie was so nice. Ollie was too nice on this player. And Ollie was like, oh, guys, let's be positive. City put a tough lineup up against us, even though we lost. But that shows they were scared of us. Like, that was the mindset I think Ollie employed on the players. And people going, oh, look, now it's not Ollie's fault, it's the players' fault. Look, we can sort of see that now, but I think Ollie is part of that problem. I think he's one of the reasons that the players' attitude has just gone boomf, because I think he was too nice to them. I really do. Van der Beek says that Cavani, CR7, Sancho, Bruno, Pogba, Donny, Telles, Varane, Lindelof, Delow. That would be a very attacking lineup. I'd like to see it, to be fair as well. Guys, smash a like on the video if you have not already, and please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football if you're new, by the way, guys, because I will be doing a watch along for Manchester United versus West Ham tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to get involved in the Manchester United versus West Ham watch along. I'll be interacting with you guys. If you don't know where to watch the game, I'll be sending you some hints on how to get the game. But I will be doing a watch along to Man United versus West Ham before the winter break. So please do make sure to subscribe for that. And of course, smash your like on the video if you have not already. Every like, every subscribe, every share, every sub, it means the absolute world to me. So please do. But I've got a little bit more news to get into as well and all of that. But only 58 likes needed for 200 likes. So please smash a like on the video. And the manager cannot handle this big team, and De Gea is your hero, says this guy in the chat. And Daniel says that Man United needs to start playing the 4-3-3 in every game if they want to improve. And Ralf Rangnick will stick with a 4-3-3. We will play the 4-3-3 tomorrow. I'd be very surprised if we didn't play the 4-3-3 tomorrow. However, because we don't really have a CDM, it might turn into a 4-2-3-1. But it is the end of the 4-2-2 at Manchester United, and that is a fact. Getting back into more news, Bruno Fernandez, two goal contributions last game, 2 contributions the game before. Midfielder plays back in midfield. United start getting some results and all of that. But there was a story that came out, and I believe it came out from Chris Wheeler of the Daily Mail, but I might have to double check that one. But it was basically Ralf Rangnick views that Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw are not good enough for Manchester United. And Ralf Rangnick, I think, would be willing to let Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw leave Manchester United in the summer because he doesn't think they're good enough. Will that happen? Look, let's be real. We'll probably never let them go. The board love them too much. They're the favourites. But Ralf Rangnick has a view that a lot of these British players that Ollie was obsessed with, that we've been obsessed with, were not good enough at Manchester United. And you know what? I think it's true. I think Maguire is not consistent enough to play for Manchester United. I'm not saying that Maguire's an awful player. Like, when he is good, he's a good player, but he's not been good enough this season. A lot of our players have been levels ahead of him, and I think that's absolute facts. And if we do sell Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, I go Ed Woodward spent over 150 million on Daniel James, Maguire, and Wan-Bissaka for them all to leave and not prove to be good enough. That would just reflect how bad our board was. Now, it's come out from Sport Witness that Manchester United do not necessarily see the need to keep Van der Beek, okay? But they want to keep him as backup. It's come out that United don't think Van der Beek needs loan because they want him as backup. Man United are more than happy to ruin Van der Beek's career, absolutely ruin Van der Beek's career, just to keep him as a backup in case McFred get injured. And I think that's an absolute joke. I just think, let the poor guy go. You are ruining his career. The Dutch are finally in an international competition, and he might not even be able to play. It infuriates me, the treatment of Donny Van der Beek. Absolutely infuriates me. I don't know what infuriates me more, the fact that Man United players are complaining they've got to do homework, or the fact that we treat Donny Van der Beek so badly. I think both are absolutely awful, and both absolutely infuriate me and all of that. Some people say that Cavani could start tomorrow. Because obviously the Ronaldo absence. Ronaldo and Cavani are both doubts. There is a report that's come out that Cavani could start tomorrow, so I will change the predicted lineup to Cavani up top. But you know what? Like, I prefer Ronaldo to Cavani if you want my honest opinion. Honestly, I do. I just think Cavani is better as a sub than not a starter. I think Cavani always has more impact as a sub. I don't know what you guys feel about that. But we got a story about Cristiano Ronaldo leaving Manchester United that I do want to get into. And that is that some Manchester United players believe that Cristiano Ronaldo will look to leave the club if we do not qualify for the Champions League next season. Ronaldo is due to a salary cut in those circumstances. He wants to finish his career winning trophies. And this has come from Laurie Whitwell, a very, very reliable source. You know what's funny is a lot of the players at Man United don't want Ronaldo and want him gone. So isn't it ironic we're playing bad so we don't get the top 4, so Ronaldo goes. If United don't get top 4, Ronaldo's gone. Imagine signing your club legend back for a year for him to play for your shit team and then leave. It's a joke. It's embarrassing. That is embarrassing if Cristiano Ronaldo leaves in the summer because we're shit. It's embarrassing. It is just embarrassing. And, you know, apparently, you know, he's going to leave, we don't get top 4. And, you know, it's a bit ironic that some of the players don't want Ronaldo here and they're playing shit. So maybe they're trying to make sure we don't get top 4 so Ronaldo leaves. But I doubt that's the case. But I just think it's so embarrassing. I think it's so embarrassing. Honestly. Now, guys, I've seen a lot of tweets. I've seen a lot of tweets about David De Gea, you know, and how he's made more saves than anyone else in the Premier League. David De Gea has made more saves than Alisson and Ederson combined in the Premier League this season. No goalkeeper's made anywhere near as many saves as David De Gea in the Premier League. And why this is brilliant to David De Gea, this is embarrassing for us United fans. The fact that David De Gea is making more saves than a Norwich goalkeeper, the fact that David De Gea has faced more shots than any other Premier League keeper, I think that is absolutely embarrassing. That speaks how bad we've been. The fact that David De Gea has had to make more saves than Ederson and Alisson combined. Does that not tell you how bad our defence has been? It embarrasses me. And I hope Lindelof and Varane start when Lindelof's back. And I hope that Lindelof and his family are okay after the horrible break-in. But I just read that and I just think, like, we're flexing De Gea making all these saves, but is it a flex? Because I just think it's absolutely embarrassing that De Gea is having to make all these saves. I think it's absolutely humiliating. Honestly. And I think with Lindelof out and with Bailly out and with Maguire being crap, we should play Jones and Varane. We should be playing Jones and Varane tomorrow. I don't know what you guys think about that. Newcastle are apparently open to sign HAIDARA. He would choose United over Newcastle, but you know, unlike United, Newcastle are willing to pay the money for HAIDARA, which is an embarrassing thing. And no way will Maguire and BISSAKA and Shaw be sold. They're English. End of discussion. Rangnick deems them not good enough, and when Rangnick's in the consultancy role, he'd be willing to let them go. But unfortunately, people higher up actually have the final say at United. You know, Ralf Rangnick would probably be more than happy to offload Lingard, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, but will the people higher up let them do that? And that is no, because, you know, there's someone higher up at Manchester United that absolutely loves British players. There is someone a lot higher up at Manchester United that has a thing for British players, where he will treat the non-British players awful, let them go. Martial, let's scare him out the squad. Lukaku, let's not train with the squad. But when it comes to English players, we've got this like love affair with them. We've got this love affair at them. I just think, man. Someone just asked how am I doing. I'm doing okay. Laptops, you know, as you can see by the stream quality and all that, my laptop's been crap this week, and I do want to apologise for how bad the stream quality's just been this week in general. By the way, guys. Just because my laptop's been playing up, keeps crashing, but hopefully we'll get that fixed. So I want to apologise for the drop in quality on the streams and videos lately. Everything's breaking as well. And BISSAKA's not good enough, needs to be sold and get Lamptey in instead. I think Lamptey would be a nice investment. I do think Lamptey would be a very, very nice investment. I do like Wan-Bissaka. I think if, you know, he's coached properly, getting back in form, I think he's a good enough player actually. But you know, with the form Deleu's in, I'm at the point where start Deleuze. Absolutely start Deleuze. And I think, you know, we always said that Deleuze could benefit under Ralf Rangnick. And, you know, Deleuze's a young player. I think Deleuze's 21. This is me going to Google how old Diego Deleuze is. Diego Deleuze is 22 years of age. So he's very, very young, and he could still evolve into a good right back. And he's improving under Ralf Rangnick as well. And when we've got quite a young squad, I think that it's nice to see players improve under Ralf Rangnick. And I think the coaching at Manchester United has been particularly poor these last couple of years. I think we can all agree that the coaching at Manchester United has been very subpar these last couple of years. So I'd really like to see improvements in Greenwood, Rashford, McTominay, Deleuze. Some of the younger players. Well, McTominay's 25. Can't believe we still class him as a young player. But yeah, I think we're getting to a point where, you know what, if we did sell Wan-Bissaka, I wouldn't be that bothered. I've been very protective of Wan-Bissaka actually, because I do rate him, unlike some other United fans. But yeah, we've got 218 people watching, so please do smash a like, subscribe, and all of that. And Wan-Bissaka is good in defence, but not attacking. And I think, you know, aesthetically, all the aesthetic FC people will not like Wan-Bissaka. And you know what? He isn't good at attacking either. Do you know what annoys me, though? Is I think a lot of people think a player's better if they look better rather than they perform better. I think, you know, we live in a world where it's all about aesthetics these days in football. It's like, Messi's so clear of Ronaldo. What? Because he's more aesthetically pleasing because he's a better technical player. It's like Messi can't be better than Ronaldo if Messi can't do it for a team that isn't Barcelona. If Messi can't dominate the Uber Eats League. Messi is playing for the best team in Ligue 1 and is struggling in Ligue 1. Ronaldo is playing for a shocking team with no service and he's still getting results. You know, cool, Messi looks better on the ball, Messi's more aesthetically pleasing. But at the end of the day, I want a player that's going to score goals and win games rather than a player that's going to look nice. Do you know what I mean? It's about results. It's about finished product. It's like when you make a website, you could spend hours making this website look really, really pretty and nice, but no one buys anything off the website because you don't advertise it well. You could make a shit website, advertise well, more people buy on it. It's, you know, we live in a world where it's all about, oh, which football is more aesthetically pleasing. Let's think about results. And a lot of the aesthetic merchants hate Bruno. But it's like, you know, they think Bruno's a crap player because he doesn't look as nice as De Bruyne on the ball. And I'm like, Bruno's apparently having an awful season when he's got 18 goal contributions and not a single penalty. But I'm glad Bruno's got 18 goal contributions. Jerry's had some shit games. Jerry's been poor. But let's not live in this world where we think, you know, Emi Buendia is more, you know, aesthetically pleasing than Bruno Fernandez, so we must be better. You know, I've been told that Smith Rowe's better than Bruno. One, Smith Rowe's playing on the wing, and two, he's having one good season. I'll get told Mason Mount's clear of Bruno. What, really? I mean, some of the disrespect some of these players get. It's a joke. I support you and Juventus. Pretty cool. Messi's a better talent than Ronaldo. I think Messi was born better than Ronaldo, but I think Ronaldo's work rate is what got him to the same level as Messi. Esther16 with a chat here saying, do you feel like because of injuries and manager changes, we are kind of like in the Liverpool situation where we have the potential, but we just don't live up to it due to these reasons? No and yes. I think we've had problems with injuries and all of that, but I think, you know, I think we've been crap when we were fully fit this season, if you want my honest opinion. I think we've been, you know, I don't think we can use that as an excuse. I don't like excuses either. Do you think players should not quit and wait until the club announces a new manager? I think if we get Ten Hag, Donny van de Beek should stay. But if I was Donny van de Beek, I'd understand why Donny will leave in the summer, because even if we do get a new manager in the summer, Ollie made Donny stay this summer and promised him he'd play him. Rangnick's forced Donny to stay this January and promised him he'd play him when Donny's only getting 2 minutes off the bench. So players like Donny go, yeah, we've got a new manager in. Yeah, the new manager says he will play me. But does Donny have any right to trust the new manager when he's been told by the last two managers they'll play him and they don't? You know, that as well. So, you know, a lot of players, I'd understand why they want to leave because they have been lied to, some of the players at Manchester United. Like, they have downright been absolutely lied to. Fans, I want to say something. Shut up. You talk about ELANGA, Rashford, Greenwood, CAVANI, Ronaldo stuff. Look at the damn crap midfield. It's broken. Can't defend and pass up front. That's the problem. This is. I agree. I see fans slate De Gea. I see fans slate Ronaldo. Okay, there's a few problems at Manchester United, the biggest being the owners. But on the pitch, the biggest problem is the midfield. And I always say, it winds me up how Jamie Carragher and all these pundits on Sky Sports, if we don't win, they go and talk about Ronaldo. What's Ronaldo meant to do when the midfield's so overwhelmed, the midfield's so crap, and he gets no service? What is Ronaldo meant to do? You know, Sky Sports, talk about the midfield, talk about Harry Maguire. No, let's talk about Ronaldo, let's talk about Bruno. And it does infuriate me that we skip to this, whoa, Ronaldo this, Bruno this, whenever we drop points. It absolutely winds me up. Only players who give assists to CR7. Bruno's assisted Ronaldo this season. That might be true, to be fair. That could be true because Bruno's got a lot of assists. I think Ronaldo's got a couple without Bruno, but there's a lot of selfishness going on that front line and all of that. Midfield's all dead with no passes forward. I have noticed that Scott McTominay has improved under Ralf Rangnick. Scott McTominay is definitely a lot more eager to pass forward. But yes, I do agree with you. The midfield has not been good enough this season, especially under Ollie. I think there's been slight improvements under Ralf Rangnick, but the improvements in the midfield, again, they're not consistent. Like, if you look at the improvements in the Manchester United midfield, it is, okay, Fred and McTominay, they have a good game for 30 minutes and then they're crap for 60 minutes. You know, we want the midfield to have a good game for 90 minutes, but they're good for a certain amount of minutes, then crap for a certain amount of minutes. And for me, that's a little bit frustrating about the midfield. And yeah, Ronaldo deserves better. If Ronaldo was at Manchester City, he'd be getting 40, 50, he'd be on like 50 goals this season. Because I tell you what, Manchester City put so many great balls on the 6-yard line. They've got no one there to tap it in. I'm thinking, that is Ronaldo's dream. That is Ronaldo's dream. Cristiano Ronaldo, some breaking news, guys, is with the Manchester United squad ahead of the West Ham game. Ronaldo is with the Manchester United squad, and I thought he would be. I know Ronaldo was a doubt, but I just have a feeling Ronaldo will play, despite the Greenwood playing a striker rumours. Now, I do like Greenwood as a striker, but Ronaldo is with the Manchester United squad. That's in, despite the neck injury doubt, which is very, very good. So hopefully Ronaldo will play tomorrow if he is fully fit. I don't know if Sancho will play tomorrow. I don't know if he's back, but we will have to wait and see on that case. Bish, bash, bosh. Oh yeah. I should do that. So is it? Is it like C or Sue? Is it like Sue? Or is it like C? I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't really know what it is. And as Diego says, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for all the latest Manchester United news, breaking news and more, because I will be live tomorrow around 2:30 p.m. UK time for the Manchester United versus West Ham watch along. So do make sure you're subscribed for that as well, by the way. And is it true Julian Alvarez is off to City? It looks very, very likely. It's a shame because we wanted him first, and City have probably swooped him up. But we'll have to wait and see. Fabrizio Romano said that the River Plate deal was not linked to Alvarez, but Spurs are making a move for Traore. City are making a move for Alvarez. Man United in January, who are they making a move for? Absolutely no one. Are we surprised? No. Are we disappointed still? Yes. Should we sign a CDM? Yes. Do the Glazers care? No. Is that the story of the last 9 years? Yes. Like that is the situation at United as well. But smash a like if you want Man United to sign a CDM in January. So if you are watching, you haven't smashed a like, what is your problem? Unless you're a rival fan, then I understand. And all of that. And yeah, says I can't see us beating West Ham. And that gets me to the final question of today's video, guys. Actually, someone said Maguire captain or Bruno. I think Maguire will be captain. Rangnick said as long as Maguire starts, he'll be captain. But let's be real, Bruno is the real captain. But my final question for you guys is, and please do get involved in the live chat, what is your score prediction for Manchester United versus West Ham tomorrow? I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a difficult game. I think though, the thing is, we could win 3-1, we could lose 2-0, we could draw 1-0. If I was going to give a safe bet, I would probably say 1-1 tomorrow. Because whenever I say we're going to draw, we win. And whenever I say we're going to win, we don't win. So I'm going to say we draw to jinx it so we win, you know. I've got like my little Nando's thing here as well. So big up Manchester United. Hopefully the 3 points, because that make my weekend a little bit better. I'm fed up of United ruining my weekend, but I'm going to go with 1-0. Someone said a 4-0. Now, if we win 4-0, I'd absolutely love it. 3-2 would be a very, very good game. SS16 says 3-1 United win. Done it before and we'll do it again. I like the confidence. Now, I will say now we switched to the 4-3-3. I'm a little bit more confident regarding Manchester United. Now we switched to a 4-3-3, which obviously it makes common sense. So potentially, I still go with 1-0, hoping we jinx it so we win. But definitely 2-0 to Cyberwares. Dave says 3-2. Daniel, who's a West Ham fan, is saying 2-2 West Ham. Yeah, and West Ham 3-1 United. Ooh, that I would not be happy. I tell you what, a lot of people say, Alice, I love watching you when Man United lose. I tell you what, I hope those people won't be coming to the channel tomorrow because we're not going to lose. Hopefully, fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I think West Ham have dropped off a little bit though, but yeah, Bowen is a real threat. Does Bowen play on the left or the right? I think Bowen plays on the right. I might need Daniel to clarify that because obviously the fullbacks aren't defensively the best, so Bowen could cause some problems. And as Diego says, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Josh thinks United will win 3-2. Sonic thinks we'll win 2-1. 5-0 says Francis. Well, I hope you're right. 2-0 says Mike. And who do you think has more probability of leaving in the summer? Donny, Pogba, or Lingard? I think they'll all leave if you want my honest opinion. Pogba and Lingard are for free, so they'll definitely go. Greenwood, CR7, ELANGA from tomorrow. They'll probably play up top. And yeah, Bowen does play on the right wing. And Alice, do you think Rangnick has got the stamina issue sorted out in the squad? No. No, 100% not. I think, Rangnick did say when he came in, he will demand more physically of his players, but because of it being mid-season, it's hard to do fitness training because you don't want to risk injury and all of that, and because of how tight the fixture list is, it's hard to do fitness training. So, he wasn't going to have an instant impact on fitness. I think that was always a given and all of that. Definitely. But I think the players need to get fitter. I don't think our players are that particularly fit. The fact that Brentford team every 10 minutes run a kilometre further than Man United in the first half, but I have to wait and see. 2-2. I could see 2-2. I'm going 1-1 United, but I could see more than 1-2 goals. I could see 4 goals. And Alice, can Donny imagine the Donny hat trick in the last 15 minutes? Scenes. He still wouldn't start the next game though. And your Greenwood will score the winning goal tomorrow. I have a feeling Greenwood does like a goal against West Ham. Greenwood does like a cheeky goal against West Ham. He does shut up. So maybe. But 3-1 United. And is the 5-3-2 formation something that can help get a result over the line in West Ham game? No, I think we've got to stick with the 4-3-3 in my opinion. I think we should stick with the 4-3-3. I think it's working, and I think we will stick with the 4-3-3. Guys, I am going to wrap up the live stream here because we've been live for about an hour. So please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe down below to the channel if you're new. I will be live tomorrow for the Manchester United versus West Ham watch along. So do make sure you're subscribed for that. I will interact with you guys more in the chat for the West Ham watch along. So smash a like, smash a subscribe. Thank you everybody for tuning into today's video. Really good live stream and all of that. Maguire will give West Ham a goal. We are going to win 3-0. West Ham are a tough team, but I think we'll edge it 2-1. Hopefully. And has Moyes ever beat United at Old Trafford? I don't think he has, but there's always a thirst for something. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today's video. Live tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe with post notifications on. See you next time. Bye.